how's your day going? Guys, do you remember her? I told you about her in my very first YouTube video. It's Mandy, our lovely girl that came to our house so many years ago, and we've been living together since then. As you can see, she's a pigeon, a very beautiful pigeon with evil eyes. Look at her eyes. She has red eyes, and her story is sad and a little complicated. I'm gonna tell you guys about, but let me tell you a little bit about this pretty girl. Ow! Sorry, that's how pigeons are. Well, Mandy is very, extremely dependent on my dad. She basically can't spend the day without him. And the thing about Mandy is that, ow, she bites a lot, especially if you're not my dad. Whenever we are walking in the house, she bites our feet. Whenever we're holding her, she bites our fingers or whatever that comes to her cute black beak. And she doesn't do any of these things to my dad. And if you're wondering, why isn't she flying away? Well, because as you know from my first video, she was shot in one wing, and one of her wings doesn't work anymore. That's why she's been living with us all these years. Mandy, be a good girl. You're gonna be a celebrity soon. So yeah, if you are ever thinking about having a pet pigeon, this is how they're gonna be. Whenever they want, they're gonna be kind to you. They're gonna be the cutest thing you ever have. And whenever they don't want that, this is what's gonna happen. Let me show you from up close. This is what's gonna happen. And apparently she really wants to go to my dad, so ow! Don't bite me! And by the way, if you watch the rest of my Boppities videos, you know that I always clean my lipstick to kiss my birds, but we can't do the same for Mandy because Mandy has a rare disease that makes it a little dangerous for not only us but also for the rest of our birds if she lets me to kiss her or have any sort of contact with whatever that she touches with her beak. So we usually don't let the rest of our Boopities to go towards her cage and her food and stuff. Guys, I'm gonna let her go before she eats me. Okay guys, I survived. I mean, my finger somehow did survive, but I was telling you, she has this rare disease that it's dangerous for any type of being, like the rest of our birds or us, to touch her by whatever that goes into your mouth. And mostly is touched by her mouth. We always try to keep her separate from the rest of our birds. Like if she's walking in an area in the house, we don't let the rest of our Boopities to go towards her. Her cage is in an isolated place where our birds can't go and eat her food, and we can't kiss her. But that doesn't stop us from showing how much love we have for her. As you can see, sometimes she sits on our hands and she sits on my dad's lap, sometimes our laps. If my dad's not home, she somehow tries to manage it in a way to make sure that she receives the love that my dad gives him from us, so she becomes a little bit kinder when my dad's not home. Pigeons are weird, I'm gonna tell you that. Now let me tell you about the story of Mandy and how she came to our house and became one of the oldest and one of the loveliest parts of our Boppities family. I don't really remember how many years ago it was, but it's been so many years, like at least 6, 7, 8 years at least. And I went to this vet clinic that I usually went to. Well, I changed the clinic that I take my birds to, but back in the day I was going somewhere else, and I think I was taking one of my budgies that unfortunately is not with us right now because he passed away when he got old. I saw this box, and the vet, as they knew me that I adopt birds that need help, told me that there's this pigeon here that was shot in one wing. If you can adopt her, we will do surgery on her. Maybe she could fly again. I came back because back in the day I was like living with my family and stuff. So I told them that there's this thing, and at first they were like, no, we have a lot of parrots and stuff. But after a while, they said, okay, maybe after 2 to 3 days, they said that, like, let's adopt her because apparently she didn't have anywhere else to go. Because as you know, birds are not that type of animal that people usually adopt, especially if they have disabilities. So we told them, all right, then let's do the surgery on her wing, and they did so, and we were waiting for her to get better after a while after the surgery. We brought her home. We gave her a cozy place to live in. We gave her the food that was good for her. We had so many trips to the vet clinic because she needed to be checked out. Her wing needed to be checked out, the muscles in there, the bones and stuff. After a while, we figured out that Mandy couldn't fully open her wing. And even though we tried very hard to somehow make her be able to fly again, it just didn't work. Even though she had 2 surgeries, she went through a lot, but after a while, after showing her to multiple doctors, everyone said that the muscles in her wing have been destroyed, mostly a part of it that was affected by the bullet, and she just can't fly anymore for the rest of her life. So we figured out that Mandy is gonna be living with us for the rest of our life here. That's why we've been keeping her with us, even though she is not really that friendly to anyone except for my dad, and she's always biting our toes off, she's always biting our feet off, but she's a lovely, grumpy part of our feathered family. The heartbreaking part of bringing Mandy to our house was her not being used to living with us and missing her old life that she was having before being shot by whoever that bad person was, a hunter. I don't know who it was, but you know, she would spend hours behind the windows looking outside, looking at the other pigeons that were flying from this tree to that tree, and she was very aggressive at the beginning. For years she was so aggressive, like she wouldn't trust us. It was as if she just couldn't accept the fact that this is her life from now on. She can't fly anymore and she will have to live with us for the rest of her life, and that was very hard to watch. We tried so hard to help her, and after so many years, this is how she's trusted us, that she comes and sits with us. She asks us to pet her, mostly my dad, as I said, but also us from time to time. She does this thing, I don't know what it's called in my local language nor in English, but when you show love and attention to Mandy, she like sweeps on the floor, opens the feathers of her tail, and like does a whoop move, which is very cute and funny at the same time. She's gotten used to living like this, but I don't know how pigeons are because she's the only pigeon I've ever had in my whole life. But apparently they're not like parrots that can communicate with a lot of people at the same time, because as I said, she spends most of her time with my dad. She asks him to pet her, she asks him to feed her, and whatever she wants, she just goes to my dad unless he's not home. The cool thing about Mandy is that she loves toys and dolls. She has this toy called Abby that I'm gonna show it to you right now. It's actually a doll. Hold on, let me go bring it. This is Abby, her favorite stuffed animal that she's always jumping on her back and using her beak to pinch the body, or whenever we throw Abby somewhere, she goes towards Abby and does the same. Like, it's one of those things that she always plays with in the house. I didn't know that Pigeon could have favorite toys, but it's so funny and cool that She loves this thing. There's this tone to it that whenever we want to play with her, instead of Abby, we say Abby, and that's how she knows that the game is about to start. Before Abby, she had another toy, a this sized fish that we were calling Mai. You might wonder why. It was a fish. Fish in my local language is called mahi, and because we wanted to make it easier for her and for us and to make it cute and stuff, after a while we started calling that Mai. But Bamzi destroyed Mai. And that's why she doesn't have it anymore. And it was very scary because it was, well, first her favorite toy before Abby, and also because, as I told you, it's not healthy for our birds to touch with their mouth whatever that Mandy touches with her mouth. And because Mandy only plays using her beak, we were so worried for Bamzi, so we took him to the vet clinic to make sure that he's not having that contagious disease from Mandy. Thank God he didn't have it. But yeah, if you have a pet pigeon, try to bring them one of these stuffed animals, and hopefully, just like Mandy, they're gonna love it. There's also another thing about Mandy, that if you have a pet pigeon, I would appreciate your help a lot. And that is the fact that, it's very, very hard to change Mandy's diet and take it towards the healthier version of it. What I mean by that, well, I've had parrots almost my whole life, and I know how long it takes, what tricks to use to make sure that eventually over time they will start eating whatever that is good for their health, and they won't eat the bad things. Like, I know they won't eat a lot of seeds anymore. All of my parrots are just like that right now. But for Mandy, I asked the vet, I searched online, and I couldn't find anything because her food should be a combo of different things, different seeds and stuff. Do we call them seeds? I don't know what they're called. I'm gonna put the image here. And most of it should be wheat, but a part of it should be the oilier seeds or whatever that we call them. We could never stop Mandy from just not picking the oilier ones and leaving the healthy wheat and not eating anymore. Like, we reduced the amount of the oily ones a lot and added a lot more wheat to it, but she just stays hungry because she's not willing to eat the wheat, and she just only likes the oily ones. That is very bad, especially that, the metabolism of the birds is in a way that they should be active most of the time, like they should be able to fly and stuff. And now for a bird like Mandy, it's gonna be even worse than a healthy pigeon. There were so many methods and techniques that we tried, but just apparently doesn't work on her. The other thing about Mandy is this thing that throughout the years we figured out from time to time she lays eggs without having a male, and the eggs were getting bigger and bigger, and we took her to the vet, and she said that the reason they are getting bigger is because of the oily seeds that she's eating. We should reduce that. We should put her in front of the sunlight a lot more. We shouldn't let her go to darker areas, and we should stop petting some very specific parts of her body because that somehow simulates the things that causes her to lay eggs. And she said that it's going to be very bad for the bones that she has around her legs if she keeps doing that, because we can't correct her food no matter for how many years, how many techniques, how many methods we tried. It just doesn't work. This couldn't work either. I mean, she's laying eggs way less because we make sure that she spends a lot of time in the sunlight and stuff, but maybe because she just chooses not to eat the wheat, so she stays hungry from time to time. This is something that we could get a little bit more under control, but not fully, because a big portion of it depends on her food, and she's very stubborn towards that. So if you have the same experience, I would appreciate it a lot if you could tell me in the comment section so that we all together could help Mandy. Alright guys, if you are a fan of my Boopities series, you already know that at the end of every single video I try to tell you how amazing it is to take care of such magical beings, such beautiful beings that bring a lot of joy and blessing into your life. And I want to do this right now, especially because this video is about Mandy, a rescue bird that was so challenging and so hard to take care of, and we still don't have some parts of it in control, as I told you in this video, and she somehow manages not to have the very full relationship that you expect from a pet to have with you, with us, because she's mostly dependent on my dad. But none of these things stopped us from adopting her and taking care of her for so many years. And I hope that it won't stop you from doing so either, because there are so many people that take care of a lot of other pets, some of them with diseases, some of them with disabilities, like cats, dogs, hamsters, guinea pigs, rabbits, or whatever pet that people have all around the world, and that is a very beautiful thing. But from my experience, not a lot of people are willing to take care of birds with special needs, with disabilities, with behavioral issues, with challenges, and that is something that I really want to motivate the world to do so, because these beings are just so extraordinary that when you bring them into your life, they're gonna change everything. Believe me. And the more love, affection, and kindness you show towards them, the more you're gonna receive it back from them, no matter how they are, how they behave, how they act, or even if they try to show that I don't care about you, just like Mandy for us. So, guys, I am begging you, just like the ending of the rest of my Boopities series, that if you ever have the chance to rescue a bird or adopt a bird that needs help or has disabilities and is a special need bird, please do so. And I promise you that you're not gonna regret it. Guys, Mandy joined us for the ending of our video to let you know that both of us, would be very happy if you could like this video, tell us about the birds or whatever animal or whatever opinion you have about this whole thing in the comment section. Share this video and subscribe to our channel. And more important than all of these, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that whenever I upload any new videos, you guys can come here, watch it, so that we can talk about it. Right, Mandy? Alright, guys. Me and the rest of our Boopities will see you in the next video. Bye!